let's start with the big news here. PS5 Pro was basically revealed the next day after we did the podcast last week, so it was kind of like we did a predictions. I think I said it would wind up being what everybody predicted, which is the $699, and it was. What do you think about the 9-minute presentation that they had Marc Cerny show, which he started off by saying basically what the PS5 is. Then he kind of went into what the big three, he called it, that they added with the PS5 Pro, which is bigger GPU, which makes it to where it can render games 45% faster. Obviously, that would mean that loading is faster, all of that. There's the PSSR that we heard so much about several times. That's basically PlayStation's proprietary AI upscaling, very much like the NVIDIA version of that or the AMD FSR version of that, but possibly even better. And you also have the game boost that's being added with that, which it's not exactly like the Xbox thing, but it's similar, I guess.
Where it's like the old PS4 Pro thing.
Yeah. Okay. So more for where it can add stabilized frame rate or improve the frame rate if it's unlocked. I think though, but they have to unlock it. So like, I guess Bloodborne wouldn't stop being 30 FPS.
Yeah, because the frame rate's tied to the physics.
Yeah, the frame rate's tied to the actual game, so like they can't, unless FromSoft goes in there and changes it or unlocks it, or which they probably won't. But that's part of it. And he also talked about advanced ray tracing as well, which is going to make it to where it doubles or triples the speed of the ray tracing in the console. They also showed off a bunch of games, which included Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Last of Us Part 2 kept being shown, the remake. Ratchet and Clank got used a lot for that. Spider-Man got used.
They're going to finally fix that ugly-ass Final Fantasy VII Rebirth game, huh?
Yeah, that. And they also had, I think CNET was the only one that had somebody go out and actually be able to test it. They have like a 6-minute video on their channel where the guy talks about it. And he does mention that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is actually like the one game that it's kind of like night and day difference. Mainly because performance mode was so bad with that game that like having a stable frame rate now at 60 FPS probably makes that game tremendously better if you played it on performance mode. But of course, at the end, they kind of just show a bunch of stuff there really quick, showing all the games. I think there's like 20 games or something like that that's going to be like pre-launch, and they have a list. We'll go through it of what's going to be getting all the PS5 Pro treatment. And then they showed the price, right? Which is kind of like they did it almost like in a silence because they know everybody felt like they know that everybody's going to be shocked about this. $700 US, and in the UK, 800 for euros, and then 1,200 for Japan. And the yen, obviously, the yen.
Is bad. So,
I think Australia also has about that price as well. So, and then they revealed later off camera that you have to pay $80 extra for the disc drive if you want a disc drive in your PS5 Pro, because this doesn't come with a disc. And if you want, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
And I don't know if this means they don't have a stand at all, because they did have this little plastic stand, which is what I use to my PS5 right now, because mine's behind my TV. I cannot have it laying down. If you have to buy a vertical stand, it costs $30 extra. So what do you think about all the stuff, the whole reveal, and then now that we've had a whole week to sit on it, everybody right about being mad about the price, or you think it's justified?
No, the price is bad. I don't really care about the price because I wasn't going to get one anyway. My feeling is like most games aren't even utilizing the PS5 power like 100% anyway.
Right.
So them throwing more horsepower at it, be like, it's not gonna like make games better, or it'll just make like the super obnoxious, like Digital Foundry, no offense to them, nerds, care about, oh, this one texture is bad, or it's slightly more aliased here than, or anti-alias in the Pro than on the PS5, baseline model. Like,
so you think it's more of like when you do an upgrade with your PC where you're just trying to throw something new at it to see if it makes your game look better?
I mean, with the PC, there are more tangible benefits to it, at least. Like, and they're also not. I mean, if you already have a gaming, GPU, like a 30, even like a 2070 or something, like that still is plenty powerful.
Right.
Like, and you can still run most games. It may not be 4K or whatever, but hey, it'll run 1080 just fine. Like, I think gaming nerds or PC nerds in particular are so not like obsessed with like, oh, I'm running at 4K with DLSS on and ray tracing and this 400 hertz screen and all this other stupid crap. It's like, okay, but how is this actually making the game better? Or like more
Right.
more innovative? Or that's my problem really, is like they equate power as like, or graphical fidelity as like an innovation, and it's like, yo dog, it's not. Like, you can make the most beautiful looking game ever, but if it's not fun to play, who cares? I mean, if that's the case, why not just start selling 3D Mark, benchmark tests, and going like, here's a game, you can't actually play it, but hey, it'll look nice.
Yeah. Um, I think I'm in a little bit of a different boat
Oh,
than
and
you are. Where
I,
go
I,
ahead, sorry.
I did see kind of partially. I don't know. Well, you were talking about like either getting this thing or like a new gaming laptop or gaming PC,
Right.
and it's like, well, first of all, like, they lied about 8K gaming on the original PS5. Like, they had to take that
Right.
little sticker off because no game actually ever does it.
Well, and then
But,
also if they do 8K gaming, the quality of the image is gonna go down a ton because look, I think I saw Alan Wake 2 runs at like 864p or something to be able to
yeah.
do the 60 frames.
And second of
So,
all, like, who actually has an 8K TV?
no,
The
that's
cheapest
yeah.
one I found on like eBay or I mean Best Buy or Amazon was like $2,000. And it's like, these things aren't going to be $300 by next year, you know.
Yeah. No. And I mean honestly, the 8K thing is you don't need that. Maybe not even when we get to the PS6, which we have a little bit of news on that. Will
Yeah,
that be a thing? I mean ultimately 8K might be something, but honestly, the thing that's going to move the needle is if you don't ever have TV get anything close to 8K, nobody's going to buy an 8K TV.
right.
So if most people are not going to buy 8K TVs just to watch movies in 8K. They're not.
I mean,
Unless you're going to
there,
put yeah, go ahead.
there aren't even 8K movies out. I mean, 4K, like, they're not, there might be like Netflix might have like one or two 8K streams or something, but they're not like 8K discs, and there's no
Yeah,
even like 8K
yeah.
player. I don't
No,
think.
that's true, but what I'm saying is like if you're not going to be able to watch most of the things that you would watch on TV in 8K, people are not going to buy a 4K TV. Or
Yeah,
it's hard to get you it's now it's easier to justify people getting a 4K TV because they're just so cheaper now. They're so much cheaper. Like you can get that like even the
yeah.
upscale 4K right
You can get
now
a
for like
4K TV for like $300, if not
yeah, exactly.
cheaper. If
But
if you shop around.
8K that's ridiculous. Like there's nothing
Right.
that really that even and even in 4 years there probably still won't be
Yeah.
um
I
because
mean,
you have to be able to get streaming to work in 8K and oh god, yeah, let's see if
right.
that works. You know.
Yeah.
Um I think for me, my thing was the reason why I said that is because of the price, right? Of
Sure.
like, if I really wanted to, I could go straight to my PS5, right? And right now, well, actually, this was this weekend. I don't even know. While we're sitting here talking, this weekend, GameStop was basically getting anybody that they possibly could if you wanted to go trade in your PlayStation 5, you could get $410 for it. And that's for the disc one. I think if it's a digital one, it's $350.
Right.
Which, okay, smart by GameStop, right? But I don't think when we get to closer to when the system actually releases, they're not going to be giving you that much money for it. Because they know you're going to be desperate to give it away.
Yeah, now it's $325 in store credit.
Yeah, who knows? That means probably like $275 in cash if you need the cash.
$220.
But oh wow, yeah. So if you pre-ordered it somewhere else and you're just going to GameStop to get money for it, you're getting $200. Which, I mean, $200 off a $700 console is still something. But still, again, this is why, like, I think when you look at what's in this system, and when the CNET guy was saying that, I'm going to say personally for me, I'm overdue to go to the optometrist and get new glasses. I've had these glasses for 4 years. So probably for me, when I put the new glasses on, I'm going to see a lot of things that I didn't see before a lot more clearly. And he said that basically playing something between a PS5 and a PS5 Pro is like putting on a new pair of glasses. You're going to see things a lot clearer, but it's really not making a huge difference to what you're playing. And sure, if you like performance mode, which Marc Cerny did point out that 3 out of 4 people will do performance mode over quality, which fine. Okay, cool. But also because a lot of people don't have 4K TVs, so a lot of it's 1080p 60 or 1440 60. So if you don't have a 4K TV, that 60 helps. Also, performance mode, people care a lot about that, having the faster frames and all that stuff. And that's great. I'm glad that they're. But I don't think unless you really, really need it, you need to be concerning yourself with going and buying the PS5 Pro. I just don't think you do.
Well, even Jens was. I mean, he was talking because he has the money to buy it, obviously.
Right.
And I mentioned like, oh, the disk drive is $80, and he didn't really know what I meant, but then like last night he was ranting about it a little. He was like, wait, it's like buy it separately, and I was like, yeah, like you got to bolt it on the bottom, and I think it's the same disk drive as like the slim model.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, I guess that's something, but like the fact that the stand is like a $30.
But now it's sold out, so like go try to buy that thing. You got to pay like $400 extra for that, more for that.
Right.
But
yeah, the even the stand being like $30 extra, which hey, my PS5 came with a decent stand already. So
yeah, see, that's my thing is if they come out with this one also has that little cheap stand that makes it to where my PS5 Pro wouldn't fall down. Right. I don't need that stand. But if you're going to tell me that y'all made it to where you have to use that vertical stand, that's a bunch of bull to charge people $30 for that. You could have easily ate the cost of that. I
got news for you. Like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, no, I know what you're saying. I mean, they're not going to promote that and put vertical stands sold separately if they're including a stand. It's pretty much them saying, if you want your PS5 to stand up, which a lot of people, including myself, your setup is you have to make it stand.
Right.
Then, you're basically telling people, oh, you got to pay a premium for this if you want the same setup you did have. And then, I think most people at that point, you're going to trade in your PS5 because unless you have a kid or a significant other or somebody else to give it to, what are you going to sit there and have a PS5 for if you have what's supposed to be the better version of it?
Right.
So you'll save a little bit of money there, but I just don't think that in the long run, this thing really is worth you going out of your way to make sure you get it on day one, because they're not going to have anything amazing that you need to go play with it. It's games that have already been out. You
Yeah,
know?
it's the same problem as the PS4 Pro, and also
Yeah.
like them going like, "Hey, you can play Ratchet and Clank better." It's like, great, that's a 3-year-old game.
The things that they showed also, that for one, the presentation was terrible because it's like, well, how am I going to see the things you want me to see? Not only do you have the problem with the YouTube compression being bad, most people are watching on their phone. I watched it again on my 4K LG OLED. It looks better than on my phone, obviously, but I'm still having to sit there and watch these things on a small little uh picture in picture that you're showing me.
Right.
Because I don't know. I get it that you want to show the side by side, but it's not really telling me what am I really getting with it. Oh, look at the crowd distance. Now I see more crowd when I play Ratchet and Clank. Now I see more draw distance with Spider-Man. The trees don't look as bad. It's
Yeah.
like
And it's
you're
like
gonna
if
tell
you're
me that that's $100 more?
well, it's like if you're that obsessed with that crap, buy a PC, and then
Right.
spend $3,000
Well,
on
okay.
8 video cards, and go at it.
That's where I do agree with people. You're not going to find a PC for $700 that's going to do what the PS5 Pro does. Especially because apparently it has RDNA 4 and all this stuff in it. But if you care about that stuff and you're a Sony only gamer, then okay, you make that decision. But this is also Sony telling you, look, you went and bought all the other stuff that everybody said was useless, right? The Portal. Everybody was talking shit about that thing, and that thing sold like crazy, right, when it came out.
Well,
Y'all, yeah.
this thing will sell. It'll sell out.
But
But
I'm just saying,
but
people that are complaining about the price, that's also they do that because you bought all those things that you said you weren't going to buy. So they're just looking at you and going, "Oh yeah, whatever. You're telling me you're not going to buy this, and then here you are pre-ordering it day one." So you know that's partial part of it's inflation, right? Part of it is, could they have made an extra SKU without a 2 terabyte drive? Sure. That's something I thought about. Like, why did you have to put a 2 terabyte drive in here? Like,
games like Call of Duty take up 200 to 300 gigabytes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's going to cost you $100 because even if you buy one off, not off the PlayStation store, that one costs like $130. But even if you buy one that's like mid range or whatever, it's still $80, right? So the
Yep.
price that they're charging for the 2 terabyte drive is not really out of the realm to charge $100 for that. But then you're charging another 100. This is the digital PS5, by the way, not the disc one, because then you're paying $80 more for the disc drive thing. But just including let's say you had a digital PS5 right now, that $300, that's how they're justifying it. It's like anywhere from $50 to $100 for inflation. The rest of it is the tech, and then at least $100 of that is the drive, the 2 terabytes. So it's like they could have found ways to shave money off of this, but because they know that there's people that are going to complain and then turn around and buy the thing, they're just out here going, well, you know what? This is not necessary. It's a premium product. You want to go buy it. You want to have the best thing we possibly put out, then go ahead, buy it. You know?
Well, the best thing we have to
Yeah.
put out for 3 more years and 3 to 4
Yeah.
more years until the PS6 comes out.
That's true too. Till the PS6 comes out. But I mean, and they already mentioned they made a deal with AMD today about that. Apparently, AMD is going to be the one making the GPU and all that for the PlayStation 6, which apparently is a big deal because of backwards compatibility. They wanted to make sure that that was going to be no issues between PS4, PS5, and PS6
Yeah.
being able to work with that, which is good on Sony or whatever. But obviously, PR hit is positive, so that's good. But we're still years off from the PlayStation 6. But I don't know. It was something I was considering because I had the TV that would actually support, like, letting me see what all this awesomeness is. If I hadn't have played Rebirth before, maybe would have pushed me a little bit more because, now I get the best version of Rebirth. But I already played that game. I don't know that I want to go back. I mean, maybe I will go back at some point and experience it, but not right now,
Right.
or re-experience it or whatever. But it's like one game that's already been out is not going to make me want to go and spend $700 on this thing, even if I'm doing the firm or the Klarna thing where I'm making myself pay less for it up front. I'm still paying
Yeah.
$700 ultimately for that.
Right.
And okay, even if I traded in my PS5, look, it's already at what did we talk? What do we say right now? 220 cash, 300 something.
Yeah,
That's
like
yeah.
320 for credit. So
It's still a lot. It's still a lot to put towards that if you want to.
right.
But also the first 2 weeks of pre-orders is going to be on PS Direct only. So you're having to get good luck with pre-ordering over there, and then you're not going to be able to do store credit. You're going to have to do cash to get any kind of money back to put towards whatever to pay yourself back for the purchase you have to make up front on the PS Direct.
Yeah.
So, and then if you buy, I mean, I'm sure they'll put it on Amazon or whatever, which one of those, okay, sure, you get the time to, but yeah, I think honestly, the people that live outside of the United States, I think they have a much bigger bone to pick here. You're talking about $900 or 900 euros. The UK government is like a 2-to-1, so you're really not paying 800 pounds for that. You're paying more.
Right.
Canada, all these people, all the people in other regions really do have a bone to pick with the price and how overpriced it is and everything else. But I think for the US, it's technically not overpriced for what it is for what's in the box and what they put in it. I think the disk drive thing just kind of tells you that's probably how they're going to sell you the PS6 too. Is
Yeah.
the drive will be detachable. You go buy your own disk drive if you want it. Because in 4 years, if you have whatever the percentage is, I think it's like over 80% of people that are buying diskless now. Imagine what that's going to be in 4 years.
Right.
It's going to be more. So, yeah, imagine that. Do you worry about what this means for sure? Next gen is going to be $700 base now, regardless of how this sells.
No, because like, look at the PS3 to PS4. That the launch model PS3 was 600. For the good
Yeah,
one, and
right.
then when the PS4 came out, I think wasn't it 400?
Yeah,
So
yeah, because
you know,
Xbox came out 500 and they slashed it and said, "Oh, it's 400."
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
yeah,
I
I mean,
imagine the PS the I it would actually be kind of cool if the PS6 comes out and they're like at $600, and then they can have like the P, the number, like the money sign, and then 600.
yeah. No, I definitely think the 600 will probably be where they're at with that because you don't have to put a 2 terabyte drive in the console.
I
You
think you do, but it'll just be cheaper.
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll come standard with it. I think they'll come out with a 1 terabyte drive so they can have the two SKUs. Um, maybe they'll do the 2 terabyte with the disk drive or whatever, and say, okay, if you want everything, the total premium package, here's this for like 800 or something, or here's the 751,
Yeah.
whatever. Because look, they did it this time with the $400 digital only and then the $500 PS5 that had everything. So I think we're probably going to see something like that for next gen as well. I will say on the Xbox side of things, I think we kind of know why they chose not to do the mid gen refresh for that, because if you look at what they probably would have had to sell the Xbox at the same price, maybe you don't do the 2 terabyte drive at that point. But I think if you're selling a regular Series X with a 2 terabyte drive for 600, then you would have had to do the same for any kind of mid-gen refresh that you do on the Xbox side of things. But I mean, people at the rate people are buying their consoles now, can you imagine the crap that would have happened if they do a mid-gen refresh and nobody buys that even less? So yeah,
Hilarity.
yeah. I think overall, um, they said there was an analyst saying, I think Matt Pescatella and others said that PS4 Pro kind for like 15% of PS5 of the PS4 overall sales. This is probably where that's going to land too. So it's not going to be everybody's not going to go out and rush and buy this thing. Do you think that this maybe prohibits people that still haven't bought a PS5 from jumping in?
No,
Like,
because the current PS5 will be cheaper, so they'll be
will
able
it
to
be
go at it.
cheaper? It'll be cheaper than that, but it's not gone down in price.
It will.
You think so? How long? Because we're already talking about.
Or I mean, think about your earlier case. Like, you know, you can only get 220 from GameStop, but if you threw the thing up on your like the current PS5, but if you threw the thing up on Facebook Marketplace and said, "Hey, PS5, $300," it'll sell within a day.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, used stores are still selling the PS5. Do you still have your like the box for yours?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I still do. So I saw a used store sell a PS5 today for or they put it up on sale for 440.
Yeah, I mean, Sony themselves are selling refurbished
Yeah,
PS5s. So, yeah, they want you to basically go buy it from them. Don't go buy it from GameStop or whatever. You get a 1-year warranty and everything you buy from us. I think what was it? The PS5 was 400 and then the digital was 350. So,
right.
hey, you want to buy refurbished? I don't think that's a bad idea from Sony. Again, Sony is trying they want to be the prestige console. They want to be the Apple of gaming. They want you to come to them for all of their
Sure.
don't go to these stores. Go to us directly, So and I don't blame them. What a way
Right.
to get people to spend more money with you. It's
Yeah.
smart on their end. But yeah. And really quick, just for people that there's only one game that has not released yet, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows, that will have PS5 Pro enhancements when it releases.
Yeah.
Everything else is a game from either last year, further away than that, or this year. So Alan Wake 2, Demon Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, which that one was funny to me because like, why are you showing a game that's running at 30 FPS? Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest,
Everybody's favorite.
The First Descendant, and Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1 they confirmed also.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's cool that all of your big first party Sony, most of your big first party Sony games will be available with PS4, PS5 Pro at launch. I'm sure this will sell out, whether it's scalpers, whether it's people that actually want it, whether it's a mixture of both. Probably less scalpers this time because that's a big price point to try to oversell that thing out already.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see if a lot of the people that went, I'm not buying this thing, wind up actually buying it or not. My thing with what you mentioned at the beginning, where I said the whole thing about the is because this laptop is really old. I do need a new laptop. Yeah.
And it always seemed like you had problems with that laptop too. So.
Yeah. And so like I don't really do a lot of gaming on the PC, so it's not really for that. It's more of like, okay, if I wanted to get a decent laptop even where I know it'll be good for a while, it'll still cost at least what the PS5 Pro costs. And it's like, I can't. And then also the Switch 2's not too far away also. So it's like, you got to start thinking about that. So, make your decision wherever you want to make it. But I think hating on people that want to buy the thing is also not helping anyone. And it just makes you look like a total asshole. So, do what you do.